Introduction to Xuefeng-style Communism. Xuefeng, February 6, 2020. In response to the respect and requests of Wuji Holy Mother, Holy Beijing Lam, and Amichuofo, I offer a brief introduction to Xuefeng-style Communism as a way to express my respect and gratitude to them. More than 20 years ago, a strange car accident awakened my spiritual awareness. As a mortal, I had already died in that accident. Reborn in spirit, I began exploring the origins of the greatest creator, the universe, life, and humanity, as well as the value and meaning of life, the mysteries of life, and the mysteries of time and space. I have always recorded my discoveries. Up to today, I have written nearly 10 million words, most of which have been made public. On Bushuan alone, the total clicks on my theories have exceeded 200 million. I call my theoretical system, Lifechanyuan, and its practical application, Life Oasis, initially the second home. I call myself a messenger of the greatest creator, an embodiment of gods, Buddhas, immortals, and saints. This is reasonable, not a fleeting thought. Anyone who has read the Book of the Greatest Creator would find it hard to deny this definition. I am united with Jesus Christ, Buddha Shakyamuni, immortal Laozi, and the ancient sage Muhammad. This can be verified by my words and actions. My main task is to harvest the ripe crops. Xuefeng-style communism is merely a byproduct. It was created mainly so that the Chanyuan celestials of Lifechanyuan could settle worldly attachments, repay debts, and perfect the anti-material structure of life in order to ascend to the 1,000-year world, 10,000-year world, and the Elysium world and its celestial island continent. Humanity will eventually understand that the greatest people in the world are those who dedicate themselves to the benefit of all, not presidents, scientists, entrepreneurs, billionaires, or national heroes. Likewise, practitioners in spiritual cultivation will understand that only those who devote their entire body and mind to the happiness of all humanity have hope to escape reincarnation and enter heaven. The only reliable guarantee of universal human happiness is the realization of communism, where all teachings, parties, and nations converge into one. Communism was originally a noble and elegant lady, but it has been demonized as a promiscuous woman. This is not the fault of the public, but the result of communism practitioners since Marx. Marx's theory of communism was incomplete. Lenin, Mao Zedong, and others implemented communism by depriving capitalists and landlords of their wealth, which violated natural laws and principles. Therefore, resistance and failure were inevitable. Does this mean the ideal of communism was wrong? Not at all. To reflect the true meaning and scope of communism, I call my theoretical and practical work Xuefeng-style communism to distinguish it from the traditional, demonized version. The root of human suffering is selfishness. The more selfish a person is, the more suffering they will experience. This applies to individuals, nations, groups, and countries. Capitalism maximizes human selfish desire, and thus is unsustainable for humanity. Today's climate change, environmental degradation, and various human conflicts are largely consequences of capitalism. Regardless of how one evaluates the Chinese Communist Party, its emergence was historically inevitable. Its birth was driven by the failure of old Chinese capitalists and landlords to care for the working masses, forcing them to rise in rebellion. This proves that capitalism does not work in China. Even decades of reform and opening up followed a capitalist path, resulting in corruption, widening wealth gaps, rampant immorality, and moral decay. China is a society rooted in human relations, and capitalism is cold and unfeeling, Thus, China cannot follow the capitalist road. Socialism, in reality, suppresses productivity and oppresses elites, leaving the poor short-sighted and passive, inevitably leading to poverty and isolation. So, what is China's path? The answer is the path of Xuefeng-style communism. Xuefeng-style communism follows natural principles. It does not deprive or seize the wealth of capitalists or landlords. It is a completely new model of production and living, unprecedented in human history, where participation is voluntary. A key element is that there can be no marriages or private property in the community. All wealth is shared, from each according to ability, to each according to need. Every member must possess nothing yet simultaneously have everything. Xuefeng-style communism implements Han-Dun management. In this system, there are no leaders, no management classes, only servers. Management is not the question, service is. No one can hold power above others. Everyone is a worker, a server, with only different divisions of labor and no hierarchy or wealth disparity. A detailed description of Xuefeng-style communism requires extensive writing. Interested readers can refer to the 6 bilingual Lifechanyuan websites, which contain text and images. Without correct theoretical guidance, action is blind. Correctness can only be tested through practice. Since April 18, 2009, Lifechanyuan has been establishing Xuefeng-style communist communities. Over 10 years, though 9 idyllic communities in Yunnan, Jiangsu, and Xinjiang were forcibly disbanded due to government misunderstanding, we have never stopped and will never stop. Is Xuefeng-style communism effective? Ask the nearly 200 Chanyuan celestials who have participated in building these communities. If it were not, it would have collapsed long ago. The reason they remain confident and pursue this beautiful life is that it fulfills the best wishes of the working masses. Reality has given the most perfect answer. The benefits of life under Xuefeng-style communism are countless. Among them, it serves as a model for sustainable human development. We have written to the United Nations, stating that to overcome humanity's crises, the traditional modes of production and living must change. Without such change, humanity risks total extinction. One important lesson: anyone wishing to live in a Xuefeng-style communist community must first purify their spirit. Imperfect individuals will bring trouble and suffering, particularly because of human laziness and aversion to hard work. Therefore, full-scale implementation is bound to fail at present. Only small-scale, local attempts are feasible. With the advancement of human civilization and changes in nature, humanity will eventually willingly integrate into Xuefeng-style communism. The Chinese nation is great, with countless virtuous and talented individuals. Many geniuses are buried in the mundane world. The key issue is that China has yet to establish an ideal system. I call systems or mechanisms programs, which are more important than moral education. In practice, avoid overemphasizing moral lectures. Focus first on creating perfect production and living order. The people hold infinite creativity and wisdom. Once their initiative and creativity are mobilized, China can produce miracles, create brilliant culture, and gain the respect of all nations. I am old. I can only lay a foundation for those aspiring to a world of equality. Beyond the sky, there is always a higher sky. Beyond people, there are always greater people. May you strive to bring humanity into the long-awaited new era of Lifechanyuan. Only with stars shining brightly does the universe show vitality. Only with talented people does a nation truly become great.